Napoleon Quotes.
Who is Napoleon Bonaparte? Napoleon I, born Napoleone di Buonaparte, later Napoleon Bonaparte, was a French military and political leader who had a significant impact on modern European history. He was a general during the French Revolution, the ruler of France as premier consul of the French Republic, Empereur des Français, King of Italy, mediator of the Swiss Confederation, and protector of the Confederation of the Rhine. Napoleon Bonaparte quotes. Before we start listing the Napoleon Bonaparte quotes, if you like the content, do not forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to receive all new. Never interrupt your enemy when he is making a mistake. Courage isn't having the strength to go on, it is going on when you don't have strength. In politics, stupidity is not a handicap. Religion is excellent stuff for keeping common people quiet. Religion is what keeps the poor from murdering the rich. Show me a family of readers, and I will show you the people who move the world. History is a set of lies agreed upon. Imagination governs the world. If you want a thing done well, do it yourself. Nothing is more difficult, and therefore more precious than to be able to decide. History is written by the winners. Take time to deliberate, but when the time for action comes, stop thinking and go in. Impossible is a word to be found only in the dictionary of fools. A leader is a dealer in hope. Alexander, Caesar, Charlemagne, and I have founded empires. But on what did we rest the creations of our genius? Upon force. Jesus Christ founded his empire upon love, and at this hour millions of men would die for him. The only victories which leave no regret are those which are gained over ignorance. A woman laughing is a woman conquered. Conquests will come and go, but Delambra's work will endure. You don't reason with intellectuals. You shoot them. The best way to keep one's word is not to give it. Men are moved by two levers only, fear and self-interest. There are but two powers in the world, the sword, and the mind. In the long run, the sword is always beaten by the mind. China is a sleeping giant, let him sleep, for if he wakes, he will shake the world. The world suffers a lot. Not because of the violence of bad people, but because of the silence of the good people. He who fears being conquered is sure of defeat. The reason most people fail instead of succeeding is they trade what they want most for what they want at the moment. 10 people who speak make more noise than 10,000 who are silent. It is the cause, not the death, that makes the martyr. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Put your iron hand in a velvet glove. I saw the crown of France laying on the ground, so I picked it up with my sword. It requires more courage to suffer than to die. We must laugh at man to avoid crying for him. I am surrounded by priests who repeat incessantly that their kingdom is not of this world, and yet they lay hands on everything they can get. The battlefield is a scene of constant chaos. The winner will be the one who controls that chaos, both his own and the enemy's. If you wish to be a success in the world, promise everything, deliver nothing. There is a joy in danger. I start out by believing the worst. All great events hang by a single thread. The clever man takes advantage of everything, neglects nothing that may give him some added opportunity. The less clever man, by neglecting one thing, sometimes misses everything. Success is the most convincing talker in the world. Impossible is the word found only in a fool's dictionary. Wise people create opportunities for themselves and make everything possible. A revolution is an idea, taken up by bayonets. An army marches on its stomach. Give me enough medals and I'll win you any war. I know he's a good general, but is he lucky? Courage cannot be counterfeited. It is one virtue that escapes hypocrisy. Un bon croquis vaut mieux qu'un long discours, a good sketch is better than a long speech. Let France have good mothers, and she will have good sons. War is the business of barbarians. Nothing is lost as long as courage remains. To write history one must be more than a man, since the author who holds the pen of this great justiciary must be free from all preoccupation of interest or vanity. When you have an enemy in your power, deprive him of the means of ever injuring you. What is the government? Nothing, unless supported by opinion. There are so many laws that no one is safe from hanging. One must learn to forgive and not to hold a hostile, bitter attitude of mind, which offends those about us and prevents us from enjoying ourselves. One must recognize human shortcomings and adjust himself to them rather than be constantly finding fault with them. I make my battle plans from the spirit of my sleeping soldiers. The herd seeks out the great, not for their sake but for their influence, and the great welcome them out of vanity or need. If the art of war were nothing but the art of avoiding risks, glory would become the prey of mediocre minds. I have made all the calculations, fate will do the rest. Ordinarily men exercise their memory much more than their judgment. England is a nation of shopkeepers. The love of glory is like the bridge that Satan built across chaos to pass from hell to paradise. Glory links the past with the future across a bottomless abyss. Nothing to my son, except my name. From triumph to downfall, there is but one step. I have noted that, in the most momentous occasions, mere nothings have always decided the outcome of the greatest events. The laws of circumstance are abolished by new circumstances. Never depend on the multitude, full of instability and whims, always take precautions against it. He who cannot look over a battlefield with a dry eye causes the death of many men uselessly. It is only by prudence, wisdom, and dexterity, that great ends are attained and obstacles overcome. Without these qualities, nothing succeeds. Variety made the revolution. Liberty was just a pretext. Of all the peoples of Europe, Spaniards disgust me the least. One is more certain to influence men, to produce more effect on them, by absurdities than by sensible ideas. If they want peace, nations should avoid the pinpricks that precede cannon shots. It is a mistake, too, to say that the face is the mirror of the soul. The truth is, men are very hard to know, and yet, not to be deceived, we must judge them by their present actions, but for the present only. You would make a ship sail against the winds and currents by lighting a bonfire under her decks? I have no time for such nonsense. You don't govern men who don't have religion, you shoot them. A general must be a charlatan. The fool has one great advantage over a man of sense, he is always satisfied with himself. Greatness is nothing unless it is lasting. You can ask me for anything you like, except time. A form of government that is not the result of a long sequence of shared experiences, efforts, and endeavors can never take root. At the end of the video, do not forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to receive all new